do come with that instant credibility that as a former player, they all know your track record, 50 straight starts. Nate Oliver talked about the torn pec, the whole bit. It's not a case where you had to sell anybody on you.
Well, I mean, you've been here for 9 years, and, you know, obviously they know who I am and what I'm about. And, you know, even the offensive guys, you know, I mean, you're an outgoing person. It's not like they don't know who you are, and I think that's probably the unique thing about being in the situation I'm in.
When you were asked today on the Dan Patrick about the confidence and any doubts, not a bit. Where does that all come from?
I mean, it's being here. It's understanding what it means to be a Buckeye. It's understanding what we've done and where we've been and what we've gone through. Those things give you confidence. Obviously, you've got to be in that situation. In this situation, you've got to make sure that they understand that, and our kids understand that, and they're going to know that from the get-go.
I certainly get the sense they've rallied around you, that it's time to move on, and they've made that transition.
Well, you know what? That's the hard part right now. It's because us as coaches haven't been around as much. This happened for, you know, Memorial Day, and we had maybe a week with them, and getting the pulse of the team. You think you know, but the curious thing is we're not around them as much, and we're not allowed to be around them. So you kind of have to get that from the players and the guys and the little interactions you have with them now, which is why you're around. You can't watch them work out to see what the pulse is, but you got some good feedback from the kids that. You know, they're intense, they understand what the situation is, and they're excited as well.
Now you have to take offensive questions. What does Joe Bowserman bring to the table?
You know, like I told Joe the other day sitting down in a meeting, I said, Joe, in spring, I was focused on what I was doing, and that's what this summer's about. I'm going to sit down and make sure I understand where we're headed and what you guys have done in the past, and understand that there's, you know, this is an exciting fall, and when you come into camp, it's going to be a challenge, and we're going to give everybody an opportunity, and we're going to evaluate them each and every day and make sure we communicate and know exactly what we think and where we are, and we'll go from there.
Are you trying to have some individual interviews with maybe at least the team leader kind of guys? I mean, as this goes along, to maybe get to know them even better, Luke, like you're talking about with Joe and stuff?
Yeah, I think it's just that ability to get to know each and every guy, and more so I want them to know me. I've been around, I've been studying them. That's the one thing I think I always did here was observe, and you know, but I want to make sure they understand who I am and where I'm coming, and I'm not any different person, but they might not understand exactly how I communicate where they were on the offensive side of the ball.
You know, the guys we were talking to today, they all seem to have taken to heart the stuff you said about moving forward, looking forward and stuff. I mean, the little bit you've been around them, have you noticed that too? I mean, are they trying to move forward to forget about what's happened over the last month and a half?
I think they are. I think they're buying into what that is. But you know, you don't know, and until other adversities and other situations happen, you'll see how that really happens. We're not around them nearly as much right now. The feedback and the feel is great, but you know, that's what this time's about. So
Luke,
you know, what we think, but it's still time to see.
Do you view Joe as the #1 quarterback right now going into camp, or is it completely wide open in your mind?
I think it's completely wide open. I think Joe and I understand that. He understands that, what we've talked about, and we're going to have the opportunity when in the fall comes to make sure everybody understands what is expected, and then you know, we're going to evaluate on a daily basis.
Is it still a whirlwind, or have you kind of got your sea legs under you? I mean, it's been about a month now. Are you getting administrative things done or whatever you need to get done for the football program, for the coaching staff?
That's what it is. It's those little things that you try to make sure you get behind you so that you can focus on the things you have to do. And that's the whirlwind. You know, you haven't had time to sit down and think about it, and that's probably the best situation. So we're going to continue to move forward, and not sure exactly when they'll have that time to sit down and relax a little bit.
Have you made progress on filling out the staff, and you were talking about maybe reassigning some duties and stuff last time we talked to you?
I think we'll get to that here in about a week or so, and when we have that truly down, I wouldn't want to do it in pieces, parts. So maybe in about another week we'll make sure that everybody understands and where we're headed, and just, you know, publicly, really.
Are you going to go out of house and get another coach to fill the void, or would you stay in house? I mean, have you addressed that yet? Or?
Whose house? My house?
Well, yeah.
I got 4 little ones.
You got a full house.
I don't think they're going to be much of a help.
Well,
no, we'll figure that out. I mean, we got a good idea, but you know, in about a week or so, hopefully, maybe 2 weeks, we can make it, you know, known and make sure we got everything in stone.
So, for the record, you would go in the octagon with the other 10 Big Ten head coaches, and you would emerge as the victor.
Hey, I'm up for about anything nowadays, and like I said, 18 years of wrestling background. that's something that might be a little more comfortable to me, so, than more of some of the administrative duties, but hey, it's whatever it takes this year, we all understand that.
Have you
Last
Luke, have you
question.
called any of those guys, have you talked to any of the other head coaches in the Big Ten since you got elevated? I mean, have you sought them out for any kind of advice or counsel, or
I
how do
will.
I vote here, you know?
I will. There's some guys that are very intriguing that have, I know that have reached out or are open to talking.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know many of them on a personal basis other than Coach D'Antonio and someone I know and respect. But, it's still a different situation. It's hard sometimes to, with people that are, that you play and or, compete against each and every day, that you got to make sure you're careful in what you do. But we have a relationship outside of football.